Konnichiwa everyone, how are we doing today? Hopefully you're doing alright wherever you're watching and or listening to this podcast based content from. Hopefully you're having a lovely day. You're currently, if you are watching, you're currently looking at the mean streets of Kusatsu. They're not particularly mean. You can see there's a little grandma walking here. She's not a bad man, she's just a regular woman. Anyway, today is the second episode. If you count the pilot as an episode, I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm counting that as the first one, and this, therefore, is the second. And the point is that I'm back again. Tell a friend, Shady's back and all that. And, yeah, people seem to really, well, I don't know about really enjoy, but kind of enjoyed the last one, where I drove around and talk about permanent residency in Japan, so that were cool. But today's topic is restaurants in Japan. Restaurants in Japan is the topic of today's video. So I teach English obviously in Japan, and students will often ask me questions, like small talk style questions. And usually it's always stuff like, what did you do last weekend and stuff. But a student this week said, like, Dan, what is the best restaurant in Japan? And I was like, well, Takeshi. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. Well, Takeshi-kun. That is a difficult question, my friend. That is an enigma wrapped in a conundrum presented as a question. In fact, it's just a question, but I'm being dramatic. Leave me alone. Anyway, oh dear. She tried to come up that bridge, but I was coming up that bridge, and you've left me fuck all space. Thanks. She tried, though. She tried to get back. Cheers for that. Yeah, difficult question, because it depends, doesn't it? It depends on what I fancy eating, but we'll talk about that as we go through. First of all, I want to talk about how restaurants are different in Japan compared to where I'm from, back in old Yorkshire. In England, going to a restaurant, like going out for a meal, is not an everyday occurrence. Unless you're fucking rich. Like, when I were back in England, we won't go to restaurants very often. And if you did, it were usually like some kind of special occasion or something like that. It weren't just like, I fancy it today, let's go to a restaurant. I mean, some places maybe it was just me. I didn't do that so much. And in England, I think it's quite a formal experience most of the time. You go, you have to talk to waitress or waiter, let's not be sexist about it. You have to talk to somebody, and they sit you down at a table, and then, you have a look at menus, you somehow call waitress over, waiter, Dan, come on. Somehow call the attendant over, without actually calling him over, because it's very British. Basically, you just kind of make eye contact with him, don't you, and be like, come on, son. Or daughter. I'm going to stop with this gender thing. I'm just going to say, come on, son, but I actually mean both genders are alright. Yeah, so then you order your entree, which is French for entry. I think, I don't fucking know. I need to stop that joke, because I don't actually know any French. Anyway, so you order your food, you order your desserts, you gracefully ask for the check, please. And then, you pay, you leave your tip, and you go home. And all that good stuff, which is pretty standard, isn't it? But in Japan, it's much more of a casual affair for the best part. You walk in, and they'll all shout, "Irashaimase!" at you. And you just kind of sit where you fancy it, and there's a button on the table, you press button, bing, bong. And they'll come over, and you point at pictures, because you're a dirty foreigner. And they'll bring you some food. They also kind of secretly leave bill on your table. This is kind of cool in Japan. after they've brought your food, they'll be like, is there anything else? No? And then they'll like fold up the receipt so you can't actually see how much it is and secretly put it on table like it's a fucking drug deal. I kind of buzz on that. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's how that's done. And then you go to the counter and you pay. Jobs are good in, no tipping. Simple life. Some big thing, like the button idea. I don't know why more people are not into the button idea. You know, fucking press a button, the woman comes over. In Japan, it's also cool to just fucking shout. Be like, oi, Lado, come here, I want to order. That's also accepted. In England, you get fucking shot for that. So yeah, you have to be careful with that one. But you can just shout like, see you outside, and they'll come over. But I'm too British for that. I've been in Japan 5 years and I still struggle to do that. I'm like, I don't want to be a dick about it. Anyway. So yeah. And another thing in Japan, like eating on your own in a restaurant is like pretty normal. Usually they have, especially like more fast, not really fast food like we think about it, but more simple. Oh, look at this bumpy, this road, isn't it? Testing stabilizer on camera. Yeah, it's kind of normal to eat in a restaurant on your own. Like if you're in a group, you'll get like a booth or whatever. And if you're on your own, you can sit at a counter and eat on your Todd. In England, I would never fucking dream of eating in a restaurant on my own. Like, I just wouldn't do it. However, in Japan, I did it quite a bit. Like, no problem. It took me a while to get over it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, now I'm not talking... let's talk about, like, chain restaurants first, right? You know, big chains, they're all over. That's cool. They're easy to identify, and they're all the same. Copy and paste. Safe. In Japan, there's loads of restaurants that I don't even really know if they're a restaurant from outside. It's like, am I walking into somebody's front room, or am I walking into a little restaurant? I don't know. I've been in restaurants where there's only room for 2 people. And I'm a big lad, so when I'm there, there's only room for 1 person. But that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. But back to my original point, when a student asked me, like, Dan, what's best restaurant in Japan? Well, that completely fucking depends, Takeshi-kun. It depends on how I'm feeling that day and what it is I actually want to eat. So I've got a system where I've got a ranking of restaurants depending on what kind of food they sell. I've thought about this, son. I'm not just a fucking amateur here. I'm not playing games. I'm here to tell you straight up what's going on. And it's like this. I'm going to go through different groups and I'm going to tell you best restaurants. And my experience, I've pretty much lived in Kansai the whole time. So I don't know too much about other stuff that's going on outside Kansai. But if you're coming Osaka, Kyoto, Hyogo, Shiga, something like that, you might want to check out some of these bad boys on your trip. Let's start nice and easy. Sushi. The staple. It goes like this. It changes sometimes, but basically, top of the chain is... Oh, even as I'm saying it, I'm 50-50. Alright, let's go for it. Let's go... Kurasushi. Kurasushi is number 1. And the reason it's number 1, it's not because the sushi is better than anywhere else. It's because you can also play gachapon game. Like every 5 plates you eat, you put them in a little tray and it lets you have a go on a little gachapon game and you can win a little toy or something. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And I enjoy that. Most of the time, I don't even fucking keep toy. I'll just give it to a kid on a different table. But that's not point, is it? I want to play. I want to play gachapon. And it's fucking smart as well, because I've sat there and I've had 14 plates before. And I'm like, if I have one more plate, I can have another go on gachapon here. So they know what they're doing. They're smart. They're smart. Yeah. So Kurasushi is number 1 just because gachapon. Number 2 is Hamazushi. Because in week, it's only 90 yen per plate instead of 100. So that's good. And last rank, that I don't get why people love it so much, is Sushiro. Japanese people fucking love sushi though. Every day it's busy. And I don't get it. It's subpar, in my opinion. It's only subpar because other two have got better options. But I mean, it's still great. Like, don't get me wrong. But add at 3, it's the worst. Alright, cool. So that's sushi done. Another favourite of mine is ramen. I like a bit of ramen, especially tonkotsu ramen. Tonkotsu ramen is pork broth, I guess you would say. It's tough. There's a lot of good ramen restaurants around, I guess. Even though I just said I like tonkotsu ramen, I'm going to tell you a gyujan ramen place that I like, called Makotoya. Makotoya is the one. It's fucking next level. You can get a bit of gyoza on side, some chahan. Oof, I don't mind. I haven't ate ramen in ages. I want to eat ramen. I don't mind telling you that's a good choice if you're into that kind of thing. Foreigners love Ichiran. Ichiran is another one that is popular. Ichiran's the one where it's like a little secret, and you go there and you've got your own little secret booth, and you never face at people who are serving you and that. Probably you've all seen it. If you've been to Japan, you've probably been there. It's expensive, but it's delicious. It's expensive because they know what they've got. They know it's like this little secret experience that people want to have in their own little secret booth. It's not like every other ramen shop. So, it's got some noisy tunes on you, haven't you? Yeah, anyway, Ichiran is pretty good, but it's just ramen. You're not getting no gyoza at Ichiran. You know what I'm saying? I can't pick a third. It's hard. It's difficult to pick a third one. So we're going to move on from ramen. Next, we've got the gyudon style restaurants. You know, a bowl of rice with some meat on top. What more could you want? Usually cheap AF, as the kids say. And yeah, gyudon. I'm all about that Matsuya life. I like Matsuya. Second place, Sukiya. Sukiya's good. You can get other stuff, but yeah, Sukiya's second place. And for life of me, I don't understand why people like Yoshinoya. Yoshinoya is the most basic bitch of the 3. Do not recommend. Don't go Yoshinoya. Go Matsuya instead. Tell them JaDan sent you. Cool. What else we got? Katsudon. So once again, don, rice bowl. Katsu is like pork cutlet, and it's a popular dish. So any kind of dish where it's like pork and rice. Katsuya's pretty good. I like Katsuya. Well, obviously it's in name. Katsuya is pretty good. We've also got Matsunoya. That's pretty good too. And then for this one, there's loads of like little places that are right good. For Katsudon, probably like the small restaurants are a good bet. They're a good bet. Curry, Japanese curry. I'm a fan of Japanese curry, that knows. And it's all about that Koko Ichibanya life. Get your sendan Koko Ichibanya. Get your sena curry. Oof, you'll like it, I promise. Outside Kansai, I think there is actually some in Kansai. But there's a place called Gogo Curry, like Gogo Gorilla Curry or something. Oh, well, I was going to drive over that bridge, but that's apparently closed. So let's detour. Let's go this way. Hiya! Anyway, Gogo Gorilla's pretty good. I think it's more of a Tokyo thing. But yeah, they're good. And like, even Sukiya, that I mentioned earlier, they do a decent little curry. There's a lot of good curry shops. A lot of good curry oils around. Side note, Japanese curry's next level, but actually invented by British people. You're welcome. You're welcome, Japan. Are you paying attention? You're welcome. Anyway, Koko Ichibanya. Next level. Right, what else we got? I've done sushi. I should have really made a list. Washoku. Washoku, which is just Japanese for Japanese food. Don't really washoku so much. But it's alright. I'll go to like Washoku Sato or something. That's alright every now and then. But Oh, some Tint Road, is there? Some the deck chair, that? Bloody hell. Anyway, Washokusato is alright. Washokusato is alright. We've also got the hamburg shops. Hamburg is a Japanese thing where they took a hamburger and made it into a steak for some reason. Not really sure why they did that, but they just did. And yeah, don't really get this so much, but Steak Gasto's one of them. Bronco Billy, pew pew pew, as Eri-chan would say, is another one. They're alright. Bikuri Donkey, Bikudo is fucking whack. I don't really get Bikudo, but there you go. Bikudo is like, they saw an American cowboy film, went to a skip and banged all stuff on wall, and said to Japanese staff, dress up like a fucking shit cowgirl, and we'll call that Bikuri Donkey. Alright, safe. Cheers for that. Cheers for that, kids. So yeah, that's good. What else we got? Cafe style. And this is like your pasta and shit. Basically, the front runners here are things like Cafe Gasto, cheap, it's alright. Size area, yeah. They once saw pasta and that's what they made. So yeah, loads of different restaurants. If I had to rank top 3 of everything, now we talk. Koku Ichibanya is up there. Makotoya is up there and all. So we got 2, and this is fucking tough, man. I can't even make a top 3. Okay, let's simplify. Koku Ichibanya, Makotoya, Kurasushi. Okay, I'll get fucking heat for that, but that's what I'm going for. Sick. So if you... Oh, I forgot gyoza restaurants. Gyoza is a fucking sick thing, like Chinese food. Everyone loves Gyoza no Osho, right? But that's number 3 on my list. Gyoza no Osho is like the nationwide chain. Then there's also Osaka Osho, which is the same thing but from Osaka. But they're all fucking bathwater compared to Gogo Ichi 551 Horai, which is a fucking Kansai thing. And it's next. Like, if you're going to come to Japan and you only want to eat one food, and you're in Osaka, Japan's kitchen, famous for takoyaki, famous kushikatsu, okonomiyaki, everything, fuck that off and go to Gogo Ichi and get you sent some fucking butaman, butama, get you sent some fucking shumai, and get you sent some gyoza, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Because that's... Yeah, Gogo Ichi is in my top 3. Fuck off Kurasushi. Gogo Ichi is in there. So, let's recap. Gogo Ichi Horai, where you're in. Makotoya, yes sir. And Gogo Ichi. If you come to Japan and you don't go to them 3 restaurants specifically, we can't be friends. I'm sorry, but I don't respect you. Wow, damn, that were harsh, that. I know, but I feel strongly about it. Also, while we're talking about restaurants, Melodeth on Discord, I've got a Discord, by the way. Melodeth asked me, like, how is Mickey D's in Japan? How is the old McDonald's? And this is a thing that all foreigners do when they come to Japan. First thing they do, they get off at plane and they're like, yes, I'm in Japan. I've got all this good food. What should we do? Let's go Mickey D's. Now, I can't really say, because that's what I did when I come to Japan. But every fucker does this, and it's like, after you've been here more than a day, you're like, oh, why have I gone to Mickey D's? Anyway, Mickey D's in Japan is essentially the same. It's everywhere, isn't it? They just copy and paste it. But there is some different shit on menu. We get some mad samurai burgers sometimes and that. And everybody remembers the fucking adult cream pie fiasco. So, yeah, they have some weird stuff, some very Japanese centre stuff. Like, you can get an ebi burger, like a shrimp burger, which is normal here. But, you know, all your favourites there. You got your Big Mac and that. Good thing you can do in Japan, you can trade your fries for nuggets. You can live that nug life. Fuck off potato fries. And hello nuggets. That's how it goes down. So that's something you can do. And something I often do. But they don't have sweet curry dip. They don't know about sweet curry dip around here. And maybe that's just an English thing. But barbecue and mustard ain't cutting it, Ronald. Have a word, get yourself some sweet curry dip, and then we can talk. Other than that, I think Mickey D's is basically the same, apart from how you say it. Like in Japan, they say McDonalds. McDonalds desu. Like, alright, cool. What's that? But it's also like, you know, back in England we call it like D's or Mickey D's or something. And then different countries like Australia will call it Maccas and whatnot. It's kind of the same, yeah, like in Kanto, like Tokyo and stuff, they're like, oh, Macca. And in Kansai, you call it Macado. But either way, it's not that different. You got McFlurries, you got apple pie, you know, it's basically the same. Apart from every now and then they do some mad thing. But Meldif also mentioned, like, why is it not as good as Burger King? And Burger King is not even really a thing in Japan. I think in 5 years I've been in Japan, I've only seen 2 Burger Kings and 1 of them closed. So, there you go. And we also got KFC. You all know about Christmas and KFC and that, so not really going to go into that one today. Probably save that for a Christmas-themed episode, I would imagine. But yeah, driving around now looking for restaurant names. See if there's anything funny. This one, there's a lot of these 24-hour diner style things. Joyful Cafe and Diner we're just driving past. And there's another one, Coco's Restaurant, and I don't really go to them things very often. Cafe, Steak Gasto, Cafe Gasto, stuff like that. They're alright. They're alright, but they're not special in it. So yeah, restaurants in Japan, that was the topic of today's conversation. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to some fucking weird fat lad from Yorkshire rant about restaurants in Japan. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, Dan, why don't you make more content about food in Japan? And honestly, it's like, I may as well just fucking have a lightning rod on my head for 8 comments. Like, fat people talking about food on YouTube, I may as well just have a target on my back. So I don't do it. I just don't. Every now and then I'll go to a restaurant on my channel, but I don't really focus on it, because you just get fucking people being a dick. Name of this restaurant driving past, Babyface Planets. Sick name. Babyface Planets. And what else? I'm just going to look at restaurant names. But anyway, I don't really make food related content, but it's nice to talk about restaurants every now and then. There we go, look, Mickey D's, you can see it there. Lad over here doing his delivery. McDonald's delivery is a thing, yeah. I don't know if that's a thing everywhere now. It weren't when I were in England. But, yep. D's delivery. Got drive-through and whatnot. All good, all good. Yeah, I don't really eat that stuff. Students are always surprised. Like, when they ask me, like, what's your favourite restaurant? They're always expecting me to be like, oh, I like McDonald's. McDonald's is fucking whack in every country, to be honest. It is what it is. It's when food when you're smashed, or when you really can't be bothered to try and find something else to eat at 11 o'clock at night. That's what it is. And that's what it's for, you know. I'm not knocking it, that's just what it is. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this little podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. If you want to, in description, in show notes, whatever, I'm new to this podcasting thing. There'll be a link to my Discord if you want to join that and suggest some topics to talk about and whatnot. That'd be nice. I hope you have a lovely day. I'm a little bit hungry after talking about food, so I'm going to see if we can sort some scrannage out. And in comments, let me know, what's your favourite restaurant, Japanese or otherwise? We can argue about it in comments until you eventually give up and agree that my 3 restaurants are better than your restaurant. Then we can be friends again. But, as always, until next time, Jamata. Cheers for finding my video today. I appreciate that. There's some other videos on screen if you want to watch some stuff about Japan. And we've also got the JaDanFam on Patreon, who are awesome and support what I do. That's patreon.com/JaDanDanDan. Before you go, do me a favour and smash that subscribe button. Cheers.